Good morning. I'm glad you're here. Over the past week or so, probably a week or 2 weeks, I've noticed a lot of posts on social media, Facebook especially, of folks that are struggling, and folks are asking for prayers. And I've noticed that some of them are very transparent. Transparent in the fact that they're in a dark place. And it's going to sound funny, strange, but that makes me happy. Not happy that folks are struggling, but happy that folks are admitting it, and admitting it publicly. And they're asking for prayers. That opens up that dialogue. And sometimes it helps tremendously just to talk about it. There's a stigma that asking for help makes somebody weak. And that could not be further from the truth. It takes a tremendous amount of strength to ask for help. There's also a stigma that men have to figure it out on their own. They have to handle their own battles. That's not true either. There's not, in the military, there's not a man that handles the battle on his own. It's always a team. So if you're struggling, it's okay to ask your buddies for help. And if your buddies can't help, it's okay to reach out to that professional. Sometimes that's what is needed. A buddy of mine, someone that I work with, had said something to me that kind of stuck. He said that once you get into crisis mode, it may be too late. So before you get into that crisis mode, reach out. Send up that flag. Reach out to that professional. It's okay. It does not make you weak. I like to read something that I wrote a couple years ago. I wrote this for a buddy of mine, Ben, who is a combat veteran. He served in the 101st Airborne. And he basically lost his battle with his demons. He was in that mental health crisis, and he was in crisis mode, and it was too late. He made a suicide attempt, and thankfully he was unsuccessful. And he was very transparent, and he made a post about it. And he didn't do that for attention. He did that to try to help someone else. And he got a bit of flack for it. So I wrote this for Ben, and I want you to know it's okay to ask for help. This is asking for help. There at the edge of forever, you didn't hear my silent scream. I could not yell. I was born to show my strength. I was shackled to my burdens that you weren't able to bear. So I dissolved within my doubt, floating deep into despair. Why didn't I ask for help? I was afraid you'd find me weak. I tried to walk this road alone, so you would not laugh at me. My necessities, they were subtle. I must stand on my own 2 feet. Remember that night at the bar when we had us several drinks? I poured over my troubles and I spoke at great length. You said, we've all got problems. Don't you feel sorry for yourself? So now, if you ever wonder, that's why I didn't ask for help. Now I know life is a blessing and every day's a gift. I'm torn between the spectrums because my mind can be a bitch. So with that failed attempt, there's a lesson that I learned. Suicide, it's never painless. There's always someone that is hurt. We must have those conversations and cast away self-doubt. Remember that a hand to hold is never a handout. Let's abolish that stigma that asking for help makes you weak. Because through it all, it's truly a sign of strength. If we don't keep our hearts wide open and we only think of ourselves when they're at the edge of forever, they won't ever ask for help. And that is asking for help. So Ben, I'm glad you're here. If you're struggling, I'm glad you're here. If you got it all together, I'm glad you're here. Help somebody out. Pull somebody up. Don't wait until you're in crisis. Send that flag up. It's okay to not feel okay. And believe me, it's okay to ask for help. I'll see you tomorrow.